It's 35 times bigger than Big Ben. It costs $16 billion, and it rises more than 600 meters above the holiest city on Earth. The Makkah Royal Clock Tower is one of the most extraordinary buildings ever constructed, a project that blends faith, engineering, and human determination on a scale the world has rarely seen. Few people know the incredible story of how it came to be. The challenges of building in the heart of Islam's most sacred city, the engineering innovations that made it possible, and the meaning behind every detail. This is not just a skyscraper, it's a statement of devotion, a symbol that unites time, technology, and belief. Standing in the heart of Mecca, the clock tower dominates the skyline like no other structure on Earth. At over 600 meters tall, it's the fourth tallest building in the world, towering higher than the Empire State Building, dwarfing the Eiffel Tower, and nearly half the height of the Burj Khalifa. The tower's clock faces are so vast that they can be seen from over 25 kilometers away. Each dial is larger than a football field, making it the biggest clock on the planet. Inside, the tower contains hotels, residences, prayer rooms, and museums, forming part of the sprawling Abraj al-Bayt complex, which overlooks the Masjid al-Haram, the holiest site in Islam. But more than its height or scale, what makes the Makkah Royal Clock Tower truly remarkable is where and how it was built. Constructing a megastructure in the city of Mecca presents challenges that few places on Earth can match. The city's sacred status means strict restrictions on who can enter. Non-Muslims are not permitted within its boundaries. That meant many foreign engineers and project leaders could not even visit the site they were designing for. Incredibly, some engineers from Europe, including from Germany and Poland, chose to convert to Islam so they could contribute directly to the project. Faith literally became part of the construction process. Every beam, every bolt, every design choice had to respect the sanctity of the place and the purpose it served. This wasn't just about building high, it was about building with reverence. Every year, millions of Muslims from around the world travel to Mecca for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. During those days, the city's population swells to levels few cities ever experience. Religious tourism brings in more than $12 billion each year, making it one of Saudi Arabia's most important economic sectors. But the motivation for the clock tower was far more than commercial. The city needed infrastructure that could welcome pilgrims, accommodate them in comfort, and serve as a visual anchor for the faithful. Mecca already had more hotel rooms than any other city in the Arab world. Yet what it needed was something greater, a structure that embodied its spiritual identity. The idea was never to build just another skyscraper. The designers wanted the tower to serve as a modern minaret, a beacon of faith visible from miles away. The original design was planned at around 450 meters tall, but as the concept evolved, it was raised to over 600 meters to reflect the city's spiritual ambition. Interestingly, this decision even influenced global competition. When developers of the Burj Khalifa learned of Mecca's rising tower, they quietly increased their own planned height to ensure their record remained untouched. But for Mecca, records were never the goal. The goal was symbolism, to create a building that honored the passage of time and the rhythm of prayer. In Islam, time holds deep significance. Every day, 5 prayers mark the rhythm of life, and each is guided by precise timing. The addition of a giant clock was more than an architectural flourish, it was a declaration. The tower would serve as a new reference point for Muslim timekeeping, a Mecca mean time to stand alongside Greenwich. But adding the clock came with a massive challenge. The building was already half complete, and its foundations had been designed for a much shorter structure. Engineers now had to extend the tower's height while staying within the limits of its original base. It was a problem that demanded ingenuity and courage, and it pushed engineering to its limits. The solution was to rethink the tower's upper structure completely. Traditional concrete construction would have made it far too heavy, so engineers turned to steel, high strength, lightweight, and flexible. Inspired by the Eiffel Tower's iron lattice, they created a structure that could rise taller without adding unnecessary load to the base. The design resembled a growing tree, its steel core branching upward to support the massive clock faces and spire. This hybrid structure, part steel, part concrete, became one of the most complex ever built, requiring precision at every stage. Giant cranes hoisted steel segments hundreds of meters into the sky, each fitted with millimeter accuracy. The result was a structure strong enough to withstand desert winds and seismic activity, yet light enough to stand tall on its original foundation. The clock itself became a project within a project. Designed by the German firm Perot, each face measures 43 meters across, making them the largest and highest in the world. The hands, built from carbon fiber to reduce weight, stretch 23 meters for the minute hand and 17 meters for the hour hand. The clock faces are concave, shaped to resist winds exceeding 200 kilometers per hour. The green and white colors were chosen for clarity, visible from up to 8 kilometers away. At night, more than 2 million LED lights illuminate the clock, turning it into a glowing symbol of time and faith. Each light had to be specially engineered to withstand extreme heat, sand, and constant exposure to the desert sun. While the structure's engineering pushes boundaries, its exterior artistry tells another story. The tower is adorned with nearly 100 million glass mosaic tiles, each just 20 millimeters across. A third of them coated in 24-karat gold. These tiles were crafted in Venice, using centuries-old glass-making techniques adapted to modern robotics for mass production. The gold mosaics shimmer in the sunlight, creating a texture that changes with every hour of the day. Every facade element, from decorative panels to intricate calligraphy, was prefabricated in Dubai, then transported hundreds of kilometers to Mecca for installation. Up close, the detail is breathtaking. From afar, it radiates divine light, an artwork that crowns a city of faith. Above the clock sits a crescent unlike any other. Standing more than 23 meters tall, it's the world's largest carbon fiber structure, gleaming gold against the Arabian sky. Inside it lies something even more remarkable: the highest prayer room on Earth. During its installation high above the city, engineers faced one of their most dangerous moments. A sudden burst of wind shook the crane as it lifted the crescent into place. Workers held their positions in harnesses, steadying the structure as the wind howled around them. At 600 meters above the ground, faith met fear in one unforgettable moment. When it was finally secured, the crescent became the finishing touch on one of the most ambitious architectural projects ever undertaken. When the tower was finally completed, it transformed Mecca's skyline forever. During the inauguration, as the clock lights illuminated for the first time, the building's true purpose became clear: not just to dominate the skyline, but to guide millions. It remains home to the highest occupied floor on Earth and one of the most recognizable silhouettes in modern architecture. Despite its size and importance, many in the West remain unaware of the Makkah Royal Clock Tower. Few of its architects ever saw it in person, constrained by the city's sacred boundaries. Yet over 17,000 Muslim workers from across the globe contributed to its creation. Each came with their own story, their own language, their own belief, united by one vision. This tower is more than steel and stone. It's a meeting point of cultures, technologies, and generations, a structure that could only have been built through shared purpose. Every tile, every beam, every prayer that echoed through its construction carries that message of unity. The Makkah Royal Clock Tower stands today as one of humanity's most remarkable achievements, a monument to faith, precision, and ambition. It's not just about building the world's biggest clock. It's about connecting heaven and earth, marking every second with devotion. In a world racing against time, this tower reminds us what it means to build with purpose, to measure time not in minutes or hours, but in meaning.